So yes, so the top three are updating, editing of a website, blogging, and video. And so today I'm going to focus on blogging and the fact that each and every agent's website has a blog embedded in the back end of their CRM. Now I've got these three quick slides I'm going to go over real quick just to kind of explain what I mean by SEO and the benefits of blogging. So follow along. So right off the bat, there is direct SEO benefits. When it comes to a blog and a website, it increases your visibility, easier to rank for specific words. So when you use specific keywords in your blog posting, it helps you with your rankings. Also, you have more indexed pages that are tied to your website because of the blog. It makes it easier for acquiring backlinks and internal links. So I will show you where links are incorporated into your blog post. Plus, there's also fresh content constantly updating on your website. It also improves the user interface and experience. So you're giving more valuable content to the people who are viewing your website. Sorry if I'm moving through this. I want to actually get into how the blog works. Indirect reasons SEO have benefits. Helps build authority on the actual topic. In your scenario, it could be an area, whether you sell real estate in Sandy Springs, it shows that you are the specialist for it. Of course, more valuable content on your site. Once again, you can answer your customers' questions through blog posting, using it as resources. It also improves your social media efforts because it's giving you that that URL that's hosting valuable information that you're hosting. Also, it increases your traffic to your website. So overall, a blog just is your constant filter of information to your website, and it's extremely valuable. But one thing I always harp on when I work with agents is make sure that you have the blog working for you. Don't be overwhelmed by it. The more you use it and the frequency of posting is what's so valuable. So don't overwhelm yourself. Come up with a strategic way of doing blog posting. Okay, so now that I've covered the why you would need a blog, I'm going to get into the actual site itself. All right, let me move this window out of the way. All right, on a standard agent website, not everyone's blog is visible on the main page. One thing that you should do right off the bat when it comes to working with your blog is adding it to your menu. So when you look at an agent's website, you either have a line of navigation items or you have a hamburger. When you click on the hamburger and scroll down, some people have the blog already on their navigation and some do not. So I'm going to cover real quickly how to add the blog to your navigation so that it has visibility for people coming to your website. Okay. I'm going to go through the steps and I'll check and see if we have any questions. So to do this, to get into your CRM, of course, through My H&R Office, if you go to the drop-down hamburger, you'll notice that you have an option that says CRM website. When you click on CRM website, the second option, you will come to the back end of your website. Okay, so our goal here is we need to bring the blog forward. And to do this, if you go up to the top where it says content, you'll notice there's an option called menus. Content menus. Okay. When you get to your menu option, the most important navigation item is your primary navigation. It is that top navigation of an agent website. To make an edit to your primary navigation, you will need to go to your far right where there's a pencil, and you're going to click on Edit. I'm going to take it kind of slow with the clicking because I've heard that sometimes there's lag when I'm working through the CRM and GoToWebinar. So let me know if you see any lag and I'll slow it down a little bit more. Okay, so this is your menu of your Harry Norman website. There are two different ways to add items to your menu option. You can either add it as a sub item which is a sub item to a primary item, which in this scenario, there's by is the primary, and then your sub options are a search on map, search by community, advanced search. So you can add it as a sub item. Okay, that's one option by clicking this, or you can scroll down to the bottom of your menu option and you can add a primary menu item. Now, personally, I recommend adding a primary item because I feel the blog stands alone and it's such a valuable piece of your website. So I'm going to click on Add Menu Item. When you do this, this option comes up. You'll notice that it says menu text. It shows the page, which is an internal page of Harry Norman's website, and you can also use an external link. So this is a great thing to know for if you're adding pages to your website and building up content of your agent website. To add your blog to your menu, that hamburger option on your agent website, you're going to type in blog as your menu text, and you're going to go to pages, and you can just start typing in blog. Now you'll notice there are two options. There's Sequoia and there is single post. Now to better explain, we don't want it on a single post, we want it on the Sequoia because the Sequoia will be the gallery of all your blog posts. It holds all of them. So that's what you want to be forward facing on your menu. So I'm going to click on Blog Sequoia. And lastly, the easiest thing to do is to click Update. Okay. So to show that it worked, I'm going to go back to Brandy's website. I'm going to refresh her window really quickly. And you'll notice if when you click on the hamburger option and you scroll down, blog has been added to the menu. I think I got a quick question. Let's see. Okay, so I got a quick question. It says, can I add it as a sub item to my links and have it as its own menu item? Yes, you can double it if you need to. I mean, either whatever way you want to make it easier for your people coming to your website to view it. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Some people even create a link on their homepage and name it blog, or they have their marketing coordinator create a quick little image that says blog and then they hyperlink it to the blog. Whatever is easier to get people to your blog. So yes, that is a great option. The main thing is you're bringing it forward so people can get to it. Well, can you see my hamburger right now? Oh. Will you go over where it will show up on the menu? So when you're on the agent's website as a whole, you have two different types of navigations that show up on the window. It can either be a line along the top of navigation items, or it can be within the hamburger. And when you click on the hamburger and you scroll down, you'll notice the blog is at the bottom. Now, one thing you can do if you want to move mine on the top, it will show up on the far right. If you have a line at the top, it will be on the far right. I don't think I have an example of someone who has it lined up across the top. The main thing that you can do in this scenario, if you come back to your menu that you're on, content menu, and you went to primary navigation, you can click on edit, and you can actually move your item. See how it says reorder right here, this purple button? You can actually move your item up the chain just by clicking and dragging. And you can move it to the very top if you want your blog to be your very first item. So you can really arrange where your item is on your navigation. And then you would click update. And you'll notice under the navigation here, when I refresh it, that the blog is now the top item for the hamburger. And if you were having a line across the top, it'd be the furthest to the left because it'd be your very first item. If you run into problems with it, just give me a call. I'm here to help you, not a problem at all. Okay, So now that we've covered getting the item actually onto your home page and visible, let's go into the actual process of creating a blog post through the Harry Norman CRM. Okay, from your primary window, you can go to the option that says content, and you'll notice that on this line, whoops, there is an option called blog post. In this window, you can manage categories, which you would only have categories if you create posts, which I'll show you how that works. And you can create a brand new blog post. So I recommend everybody either during this class or after this class, come in here and attempt to create a new blog post. That is your goal. So I'm gonna click on Create New using the orange button, and this window populates. Now, something I harp on all the time when it comes to websites and our Harry Norman website is fill in every single spot you can fill in. It's only beneficial to you. Do not leave empty spaces. You always can come back and edit, okay? But I'm starting with a brand new fresh post. And what I did before I even started this class is I took on some text in a Word document, so I did some pre-planning for this. And it's 4 of Drew's favorite virtual family vacation ideas, okay? So I have this text written in a Word document that I'm going to bring into my post. First, I'm going to take the title, and I'm just going to copy my title. First line, I'm going to fill in my title. You'll notice that when you put in the title, your permalink populates on the far right, right here. If it does not show up after a paste, click the space button after the S of your title and it will populate. Sometimes it just gets hung up on the copy side. So I got a quick question. What about using an external link from my current blog? You can bring your external blog into your navigation of your website. That is not a problem. If you're more comfortable using an external blog, more power to you. In that menu option, instead of using the center dropdown to select an internal link, use the link right next to it that's an external link and just paste in your URL to your blog. It's pretty simple. The one thing I will recommend about using the Harry Norman blog is that it has the mother SEO from Harry Norman's website, so it gets far more traction than using a WordPress blog outside of the company. But whatever you're more comfortable with and whatever you'll continue to post through, I'm very supportive of you. Next, I get questions about meta all the time. So a couple of years ago, metadata was extremely valuable. The percentage and the value of it was very high when it came to Google. But over the past couple of years, metadata has lost its actual value. But in this scenario, and just like any scenarios, it's better to fill in voids where you can fill in voids. So you notice that this meta title has a 60-character title. So I would encourage putting in search engine words, or just use your title again, or your second sentence of your blog post to fill in the voids. These will not be visible, so it's better to fill them in. So I'm just going to go back to my Word doc. I'm going to take the first sentence, whoops. Don't get hung up on meta. I'm just going to paste it here. It's probably going to say I'm over. Yep. So I can just take some off. Let's see. Let's clean it up a little bit. I'm actually way over here. I'm just going to go down to this. So I just want to fill in as much as you can, cap it where you can. Same with meta description. Paste in text. If you want to use key search words, you can. It's just fill in those voids. Next, you'll notice that there's a publish button right here. This is how you actually publish the blog post. So if you click it and click create post, it will immediately go live, okay? Or you can schedule out by using a calendar. Those who've used the CRM, they know about this calendar option. You can choose the date and you can choose the time. I know several agents who on June 1st have scheduled out all blog posts for their month. I know one or two that schedule everything out on a Monday. On the Monday, they schedule out 3 blog posts and they do pre-planning to go ahead and get it out. And then when it comes to social media, they do it when it actually goes live. So say they post on Monday, Wednesday, and then Friday, they kind of have a game plan of how they're going to push it to their social network. There's many ways to use the scheduling part. All right. Most important part of your blog post is your content. Okay. So once again, I have my Word document here. I've done all my pre-writing. I'm just going to copy all my pre-written text. And I'm just going to paste it into my blog post. Okay. Now, those who've worked with the CRM or worked with the website know that this window is very similar to Word. You can click and select all of this, and you can choose your font. Say I want to use Verdana, and you can also choose your font size. You can make it work for you in any possible way. Now, you'll notice that when I brought this over, that it also has hyperlinked words. See how these are blue and they're underlined? That means when I post this, these actually go to different URLs, to different websites. Now, you can make this just as easy as I did in Word. So for instance, all you have to do is say, for instance, you highlight one word or multiple words, and you come up here where there's a link option. You click on the link, and you can put your URL to another website. So if I just do for Harry Norman, for instance. Okay, so that word for Florida will go to the harrynorman.com. You can also determine whether it is going to go to the same page, stay within the same window, or it can open a brand new window so that your blog doesn't get replaced. So in my opinion, if you're going to use a hyperlink and it's going to go outside of the website, use a new window option so that your blog still stays visible. I'm gonna click OK. Now I have a new hyperlink. Now, hyperlinks are extremely valuable because it is a great SEO grab. The interaction between two websites and links are great SEO builders. So I would recommend using hyperlinks throughout your blog post in creative ways. Lastly, if you're referring to a website for your blog post, so for instance, let me beef this up a little bit, make it a little larger. So for instance, if you have a resource that you recommend people to view and you're referencing it within your blog post, at the very bottom, you can do a call to action. For instance, read more about virtual vacations. Click and select this whole word and you can hyperlink it to your resource. So for instance, if you're giving credit to maybe a quote that you've written, or if you want to just tell people, hey, if you think my ideas are great, check out Mark from virtualvacations.org. You know, just you're bringing value to this actual post. Okay. The last thing you can do with your blog post is also you can, oh, actually, let me stay in this content area. You can actually add a image within the body of your blog post as well. So for instance, if I click down and I give myself a little space with an enter, there's a little icon right here that says image. When you click on this image option, you can go and browse and grab an image that you might have saved on your desktop. Now, this is a little bit more advanced. If you don't want to put images in your blog post, don't. Stay within your wheelhouse. Do what you're the most comfortable with so that you can do numerous blog posts. But this is just a neat little resource that you can go to. Say I click browse, say I have an image on my desktop and I click on it. You can make it as wide, as big as you want. I kind of keep it between 800 and 900 and I say okay, and there's my image. You can put your cursor next to it and you can center it as well. I will be posting this video on MyChinar Trainer, so if there's something that you need to refer back to, you have the opportunity to check these out and get more accustomed to how it works. But the truth is, this content window is just like Word, so don't get overwhelmed with it. Try different things, see what works for you. It's more about putting your content in. Okay, the last thing that you need to do is a featured image. So for those of you who use Canva, Canva is a great resource to create a quick graphic. If you have a marketing coordinator that has a little bit of time that you can sit down with them for 10 minutes, I would recommend, if you have some blog posts in mind for the future, have them create some quick banners for you. Sizes can vary, it doesn't really matter. Just have them pull from the stock photography area and just have some things in a folder ready to roll so that when you do your blog posting, you can just slip them in. So I'm going to click choose file. And I'm going to go to my folder. Let me go into a folder. I've got a, oh, nope, there it was right there on the desktop. So since this is a virtual vacation, I have an image of a girl with a VR headset on. I'm going to click open, and you'll notice that the image is right here. And if you want to do a category, you can. So say if I want to make the category virtual, you have to have a post that ties to it. All it is later on that you can segment out your blog post due to the category. And that is a standard blog post. There's nothing crazy about it. You fill in the title, the meta title, the description. It creates a permalink. It says who the author is. You click your publish and determine when you want to publish this blog post. You put your content in the content window. You can write it in Word and paste it in, not a problem. Get used to try different ways of inserting images. Make sure you've tried assigning hyperlinks to words. Scroll down, make sure if you have something that you want people to reference to, create a read more option or something, check out this great video on YouTube. Lastly, you're going to have your featured image, which you will have saved on your desktop. And after you've done this, you will click your publish option. If you click on this and do not put a publish date, it will go live immediately. Or you can schedule out date and time. But I want to go ahead and publish so I can show you what this looks like. I'm going to create post. You'll see the blog post. This is your shorthand window. Okay. The goal is to get comfortable with doing blog posting. It's a great resource. When you come over to Brandy's website, I'm going to refresh it real quick. I'm going to go to her menu, scroll down to, oops, I put it at the top, that's right. I click on blog, and you'll notice her blog has my most recent post. When you click on the option right here where it says read more, it's going to show the blog post as it is, just it on the page. So if you're using this as a social media post, the read more, when you have it by itself on its own window, this hyperlink is what you would like to use in social media. That takes you directly to the single post. Do I have any questions about a standard Harry Norman blog post? I'm going to try some more things. I'm going to show you some other options in this scenario. No questions? Okay. I mean, you can always ask anytime, not a problem. To show you how the social media side works, when you click on this URL from your blog and you copy it, and you bring up, for instance, your Facebook or your LinkedIn account or whatever you're doing your posting through, you're going to come to your comment section that you're going to create a new post, and you're just going to paste this URL down. For some reason the image isn't bringing in. Maybe it's because it's still published or it's not fully there. Normally the image shows up immediately. I'll show you a quick example of what it's supposed to look like. Come on, delete this. If y'all don't already know, our Harry Norman website, under our company, Our Harry Norman has a blog as well. It's called News and Blog. When you click on this option, say I'm going to give this as an example. If you take the URL from here, I'll show you what it looks like in Facebook. So let me close this out. I'm going to create a brand new post. Oh, let me refresh my window, reload it. All right. Yeah. Usually it has the banner image at the top. I don't know why it's not publishing, but that's how you would actually get your link into your post. Worst case scenario, you can remove the image and you can grab the photo that you currently have on your desktop from your blog post and just paste it in. So what I would recommend is I would give some comments at the top. Oops. Describing what your blog post is all about before you actually launch it out to your Facebook and your sphere, and just kind of give them reason why they should check out your blog post. Let's see. Let me refresh my window. All right. So that is a standard agent blog post, recommending on links, using images, get the most value out of your blog post. Now, something I've been asked before I even came to this, started this class, is there's a lot of agents who are taking full advantage of YouTube at this moment. Now, a great option for blogging that if you, for instance, if you're not really into writing long blog posts, is using what's called a video blog. Okay, I've met with several agents who've tried this. It's a great option because it makes it very real and people are more likely going to watch it. So I'm going to go over how to do a video blog. So once again, I'm going to go to content, blog post. Okay, so we already see my last blog post right here. I'm going to create a brand new blog post as an example, of course. This time in the content window, I'm not going to write anything just yet. I'm going to make sure that I get the video into the blog post. Okay, the way to do this, I'm going to use my H&R Trainer account as an example. I'm going to bring up the new market realities video that we have. Okay, and I'm going to take this slow because I don't want to lose anybody. What I did was I have a channel on YouTube. There's a lot of agents that currently have it because they have me accounts and they're pushing their listings into their YouTube channel. But when you have your video currently in your channel, you can click on the option called share under your video. When you do this, you'll have your options for sharing: Facebook, Twitter, Blogger, Reddit, so on. What you want is this embed option. It's a share embed. And I know this is more advanced, but you'll really appreciate how this works because it's going to extend your video that you've posted to YouTube. So for instance, if you want a blog post to be about a listing that's gone live and you have a video on YouTube of your listing, you can do a blog post featuring your listing and just give some comments about how great it is and why that they should check out this listing in whatever district or whatever school area. This is a great way to do this. So all I did was I brought up my video, I clicked on the share option, I clicked on the embed button, okay? And you'll notice that this window comes up. So in web design lingo, this is called an iframe. All you have to do is click and drag and copy this little bit of iframe code, okay? This is what's going to pull your video into your blog post. So I'm going to Control C it, I'm going to copy it. okay? And then I'm going to come back to my blog for Harry Norman and see this button on the top left where it says source. When you click on this option, all of your edit tools go away because you're now in the source side. I'm going to click down and put my cursor at the top left, and I'm going to paste down that iframe video. See? I know a lot of people are, oh, it's actually, no, it's not really that difficult. It's very simple. I brought up the video. That's my video on YouTube. I clicked on the share option. I clicked on this button called embed, and I copied this iframe right here. Okay? When you do this and you switch your source back over, you'll notice your video is now in your blog post. Pretty awesome, right? You've just added major content to a blog post by doing this. You know, and you can put your cursor next to the video. I just clicked and put the cursor next to it, and you can center your video. Okay? If you'd like for this to be larger, if you come back to your source, I know this is, it's totally up to you if you want to make it larger. If you go to source, you'll notice that there's a height right here. Oops, come on. Height right here, and you have a width right here. You can increase these to make your video larger. It's totally up to you. But the main thing is your video is in your blog post. So from here, you can press enter down from the video and start writing. So say I want to go ahead and title it New Market Realities. Say June update. Okay. Then I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to increase the size because it's now going to be a title, a body title. I can change the font size to Verdana because I love Verdana. You can even change the color of the font right here. I'm going to say more colors. I'm going to change it to hashtag 473729, which is the Harry Norman Brown. And say OK. Now from here, you can write as much text as you want. Doesn't really matter. The whole thing is you've got a video within your blog post, and that's a ton of content that you can work with. You can take a video in here and make comments on what you watched, the value in it. You know, you can use the Harry Norman videos that we post if you want to make a blog post about your thoughts on what the new market realities are of June. It's what you feel like you can contribute using your blog as your platform. So I got a quick question. It says, what font is used on the website? Honestly, I want to say we actually do use Verdana primarily. I want to say, yeah, I think we are using Verdana primarily. But the honest to goodness truth, you can use whatever font works for you because this is your agent website and you are not limited to what font you use. The Harry Norman colors are in the brand manual. Our brown is hashtag 473729. Our blue is hashtag 4F758B. That's your blue. So just the brand manual is on my channel office if you want to go and grab it, but make it work for you. Don't be overwhelmed by this. I haven't actually covered video and blog yet, so this is fairly new. Once again, if you really want to ramp up this blog post, you can have hyperlinks throughout it with the Harry Norman website. If you want to link it to social stats, that's another great page within Harry Norman. Just think of how you're going to take your standard blog post and elevate it. Do I have any questions about putting a video in this blog post? I want people to try this. I think this is a great option for those who don't want to type a ton of content on a blog post. Okay, sorry, I may have missed this, but what is the HN blog titled as in the drop-down menu when adding it to your website menu. So what you're going to do is you're going to type in blog as the name, and then the hyperlink next to it is blog Sequoia. I can show it to you real quick. I'm going to create this post as a draft and I'm going to leave it. Now that's something also, oops, you have to title it first. Test. Okay, so you can leave drafts in your blog post, your blog as well, if you want to come back and work on them as you go. I'll answer your question real quick. If you go to content, menus, primary navigation, click on the pencil, and you'll notice it's the menu title or menu text is blog, and the page is blog Sequoia. That's what you're looking for. That is your gallery of all your blog posts. All right. Oh, okay, not a problem. Seriously, I want to make sure you've got this right. You want it to be forward facing because all this work that you're doing, you want people to see those blog posts. And that's why I think having a video blog is not a horrible idea. That link between your blog and YouTube is extremely important for SEO. It's very solid. I mean, really, if you think of the top 3 things on SEO Grab for a website, updating of text and information on a website, that's a blog post. You know, doing a video, wait, that's on YouTube. We just did that, right? And the blog itself, those are 3 huge SEO grabs. So if you make your blog post very dynamic, it's going to be extremely valuable to you. And then after you've created such a dynamic blog post, putting it on your social media, oh my God, how much that reach is going to give you is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Eventually your blog will look like, let me scroll back. This is, you can tell this is Nicole. I think Nicole's on this call actually. She does incredible blog posts. She has a steady posting, which is very important. Coming up with a strong calendar of how you're going to get your blog post in and not overwhelming yourself. That's what I highly recommend. All right, so I'm gonna go over this one more time just to make sure everybody's got it and is not afraid to try out a blog post, okay? Under content, blog post, you'll come to this window. You can create a brand new blog post. I'll show you what it looks like from my draft. You need to make sure you have a title, a meta title, which no one will see. This is totally just you using the search engine information. So you just need to make sure you fill in your voids. Same with description, you have 250 characters. It creates a permalink when you put a title in. You can publish it immediately or you can schedule out by clicking on this box. A lot of people miss this box and it stays as a draft. So remember, this blog post button is what posts your blog post. Also, in your content window, this is where you're going to put your text. If you want to try something new, I recommend doing a video. So what you're going to do is you're going to find your video on YouTube. You're going to click on your share option. You'll notice there's an embed button option where you can grab this iframe, which you can right click and copy. You're going to use your source to paste it in. Nothing crazy. That's how you do a video. Of course, your text is down here, which of course I used Word and I had some text in here. I went ahead and did some pre-planning. There is no word count or paragraph count that you have to worry about. Just feel comfortable posting. I get the question all the time, how many paragraphs is enough for a blog post? Well, however much you want to actually write. You're trying to cover something and give information that you have. You're going to put your text in here. Once again, just like Word, you can make bold, italic, you can change the sizes, the fonts. It's all there, so be creative. Lastly, you have the option to put in a featured image. which I would recommend. There's options for Canva, or you can just meet with your marketing coordinator and have a few stock photography ready to roll, where you can choose the file and put it in here. And if you want to use categories, it's totally up to you. See how I have virtual now? You can make categories. Every time you make a blog post, you can make a new category. And then you are going to click your publish option, and you can update post, and your blog post will go live. So let me bring up Brandy's site real quick. I'm going to go to her menu, click on blog, and you'll notice that my draft test that I was working with is right here. Now you can delete these anytime. If you go back to post, you can click the X button and get rid of your blog post, or you can edit it. You can edit after you've done your blog post as well if you want to make it a little bit more dynamic. I know some people who do basic blog posts and they come back and add hyperlinks to it to make it more viable for SEO. Totally understand that. Of course, after you do your blog post, so for instance, this one, if you want to click on the read more option, which will bring up the page that's dedicated to this blog post, you can copy it, take it into your social media platform, create a new post, and paste in your link. Okay? That's your reference point to your blog post. And get the word out, of course. Do I have any questions about blogging? Trying to delete this. The Harry Norman blog is a great resource. No, you're right. So WordPress makes your blog look fancy and great and everything, but the reason why so many people have switched over to the Harry Norman blog is due to the SEO of the mother site. It has such a strong SEO build. So it's totally up to you. I recommend agents do whatever works for them, but the Harry Norman blog is very strong for SEO. So, all right. Well, I'm still here. If anyone has any questions, I'm going to stay on the line. I recommend getting into your CRM through My Channel Office, hopping into content, go to blog post, and just try some different things. Try doing some blog posts. Think of different ideas you have. There's no such thing as a new idea. So if you want to do an event calendar on your blog, I totally understand. You know your area better than anything, and you could hyperlink it to the event itself, whether it has a Facebook event page or whatever. Just think of what's going to make you look like the real estate professional for your area, because you're going to be taking these blog posts into your social network. And that is your standard blog posting 101. Yeah, exactly. Yes. You're right. Just get in there and try some new things and get comfortable with it. It's a great resource. It really is truly very similar to WordPress. It's just a little bit more structured. Thank you for coming out, seriously.